Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a great evening. Wow, yesterday afternoon on the deck, we've had our third day of no wind with unusually high temperatures. And usually when we get temperatures that are off the norm, we get winds with them. But what a great afternoon. I finally got outside around 5 and thoroughly enjoyed it. So life's pretty good on the South Central Plains right now as far as human creature comforts go. We do need moisture. We're already getting behind for the year, and that does not bode well for the wheat crop. It's not stressed now, but as it comes out of dormancy, it can get stressed quickly when we have high temperatures like this. The importance of the hard red winter wheat crop is that it's people food, and the Middle Eastern countries don't grow or can't grow enough food to feed their populations, and their populations are very volatile. And as long as they have bread to eat, it's easier to keep them under control and quiet. So it is an important commodity as far as international peace, especially in the Middle East, goes. Last night we had a huge rally in the euro as it rocketed off of 105, got up to I think 106.50, 150 ticks. That rally is attributed to short covering, but Korea cut its interest rate overnight. Yesterday, Thailand cut its interest rate. So 24 central banks have cut interest rates so far this year. And that's not likely to change. This monetary policy, monetary programs, everybody's trying to get their economies to grow, to at least provide liquidity so you don't slip into a recession and or a depression, and it's not working. And I put an article into the room talking about what's needed is good jobs, and with good jobs you get economic growth and expansion. And government policy, if you want to see the outcome of monetization and monetary policy to cure economic ills and woes, take a look at Japan and their plight. And Japan, debt to GDP is approaching 4 times, 4 to 1. And even Japanese finance ministers are starting to balk, saying, you know, we're a year and a half or 2 years away from our day of reckoning. So when you look at what's going to happen to the United States, which now has debt equal to its GDP, if Japan is any guide, we've got a long ways to go. The damage to our dollar and to our economy can continue for a long time before the day of reckoning. So not a comforting thought, but again, this financial collapse, chaos, free fall, revolution, shooting in the streets, people fighting over food and water, is less likely than a slow, gradual deterioration. And my guess is Japan, Argentina, Venezuela is what we look at, as opposed to people pouring into the street and overthrowing governments overnight, quickly. So we're in a situation right now, given all the chaos going on around the world, given all the uncertainty, the United States tit-for-tat responses to Russian aggression wherever they happen to be doing it. We fly in a squadron, 12 fighters. We are going to tighten sanctions against Russia. We're going to give the Ukraine drones now. And you think, you know, Russia's got to be laughing. You know, what Russia will do is they'll put a division or something and they'll invade a country and say, what are you going to do about it? And the answer is nothing to date. And nothing probably will be done about it. So that, even if you look at the U.S. dollar as the least bad choice from that standpoint, that's why the dollar has the strength that it does have, and that's why our paper is doing so well here lately. The flight to quality, fair, get paid some money on your money. At least there is a interest rate payment, which is not the case in more and more countries, especially in the EU. And so you got two ways to make money: dollar appreciation, and you can make money on your money, and that tends to make the market strong. So we have a strong market overnight. It is pointed upward today. The dynamic that's going to run this market after the retail sales news is out of the way is the 30-year auction. It's hard to move paper without some back and forth, so we should see some selling. And the issue is it 12 to 16 or is it 16 to 20 this morning? So coming in and taking a look at this, the 11 to 15 will be sell 1, and then our 19 to 23 will be sell 2. And if the E-mini crashes, we do not want to be short. We really don't want to be short. We want to trade from the long side. The breakout in the overnight session came from 04. We have yesterday's high of 6. So 1 to 5 will be buy 1. And 25 to 29 will be buy 2. Today's news: jobless claims, 309. That number has been getting bigger. Looks like we're above 300,000 now. 290 has been the default number. Retail sales up 0.3. I sure hope it comes in that way. Ex-auto plus 0.5. Ex-auto and gas plus 0.5. So this is the number one focus right here, retail sales, ex-auto. Number 2 will be jobless claims. And then the market will move on. Import-export prices. Export prices minus 0.1. Import prices plus 0.2. It's not the way you like to see it go. You'd like to see those numbers reversed. Business inventories, just like wholesale inventories, is not forecasting strong growth, only up 0.1. Business inventories are created to serve final demand in the retail sector, and that number has been coming down this year. Natural gas inventories, minus 189. It's still pretty cold. This is last week's number. See a big drop this coming week, which will be reported next week. And the Treasury Budget, which comes out at 2, which no one pays any attention to, minus 188. So we have a lot of news today. We also have the chance for something out of the EU on Greece and how those are going. But the first focus is going to be retail sales ex-auto. Second, and this jobless claims is going to be lost in the retail sales news. And we're on to the dynamic of the 30-year auction. So to put it all together, we want to buy into weakness as opposed to selling into strength this morning. But we can take a short if it sets up correctly, because they can't take the market straight up and move all the paper that they want without a new piece of news. Now, one piece of news that could take the market straight up and pay higher prices would be a bust on the retail sales numbers. So that's what we'll look for. Okay, looking at the 30-year, the knob spread widened by 10-30 seconds overnight. Likely to give that up. But again, it's really hard to move paper without a new piece of news if the market is straight up. You got to have some back and forth. So structurally, we'd like to buy against this breakout down here. So 01 to 29 would be buy 1. A little more volatility here, and then 21, 25, leaning against that number right there, would be buy 2. And 15 to 19, sell 1. Maybe 11 I'm not too interested in the short side of the market, though, as you can see, in 23 to 27. And you can see that we have all this low volume from basically 160.16 up to 161. And I think the market will try to fill that in. If not today, soon. And we do live in interesting times, don't we? It is amazing how things are accelerating and how so much is in question these days. I mean, as bad as it's been historically, there's been no doubt about what came first, the United States. And right now, it's hard to make that call. I remember I've actually looked for employment during deep recessions, 74, 75, and other times. And I knew I would get a job. I didn't know where, when, or how. Never been unemployed, but in fact, since leaving the service. And that's because I was looking for a job. But it's you never doubted that the economy would spring back and come back and things would get back on track. But now you kind of wonder what's going on. Okay, 160, the 60, 62 area. Try to pick up this little area right in here, maybe 59, 61. Sell 1, then 65, 68, sell 2. Pretty much where we were last night. On the buy side, definitely we liked 150, but we got to get through 55. So we've got this single prints here, so we'll make 55, 53, buy 1. And then 50 plus or minus 1 for buy 2. Don't think gold is a play. I think it's central banks are still making sure that gold doesn't break out to the upside. And they manipulate the market, and they bang the futures, and they buy physical gold cheaper. Wish we could do that and not go to jail. I'm always just flabbergasted by how much trust the people still put in government. And if you've ever crossed horns with the government, they play hardball. They are not compassionate in the least. And if you don't pay your taxes and can't pay your taxes, they can take your home, and they would wipe you out financially, take everything you have, and the next day they'd put you on welfare. That doesn't even make sense. They're not like banks that have to consider maybe a workout, so everybody wins off of it and you get back. Just give me the money now. Oh, yeah. We'll take care of you after we've taken everything that you got. And that's construed as compassion. So here we are. We've got this spill from 106.70. We've got pretty good support at 106. Big short covering rally, and that's all anybody's attributed it to. I haven't seen any news that Greece has changed their position or they've come to any sort of an agreement. So we've got this 106.50 area right here, so 40 to 50. Sell 1. 70 to 80. Sell 2. Buy side, 106, 106.10. May take a 25 to get in on the long side. Depends on, most of the short covering damage has been done by the time this market gets to us, and 105.75 buy 2. But I still like the short side of the market and don't have any problems getting short in this 106.50 area. Okay, on to crude. The articles out overnight is that we're running out of above ground storage. We're not allowed to export crude oil. We can export products, so that's one way to use it up if there was demand from other countries. And that's where the issue is right now. So Crude, right here off of this, pretty good buying at 48. Last rotate up yesterday was, what, 49.69, and we're 48.64. So 48.75 to 49, that's where resistance is at sell 1. And we'll make it, if we get through that, 50 to 75 for sell 2. On the buy side, 48 and a quarter, buy 1, that's where support is. And our 47.50 to 75 for buy 2. Might not get a lot out of crude today with all the interest in other markets. 48.75 to 49 is pretty aggressive, but that's where resistance is. 49.50 to 75 is the 49.50 or better area is not such an aggressive sell. And right above that, you have that round number 50, and if you wanted to have a resting limit sell in crude, I'd do it at 49.95. And then see what happens. Okay, to the E-mini. It's been amazing how quiet and contained the E-mini has been after the spill. Earlier this week, it hasn't come back by much, but if we don't get a short covering rally today, probably tomorrow into the end of the week. The macro economic news reports are deteriorating. Today's focus is going to be retail sales. Plus 0.3, ex-auto plus 0.5, ex-auto and gas plus 0.5. Jobless claims at 309. They don't like to see it getting bigger, but it's probably lost in reaction to retail sales ex-autos. Import-export prices. No one will pay any attention to that, but it's there. Business inventories. Remember for a long time it's been at 3 to 4. Now this year it's trended down, and now it's at a 10th. That does not forecast growth. It forecasts a slowing economy. For the natural gas players, last week for big drawdowns, minus 189. They're reporting last week's numbers. Unless Canada gets on the stick and starts sending a lot more cold air south. And then Treasury budget is too late in the day to anybody pay any attention to, and it's generally about minus 190. And they say we've cured the deficit. They raise taxes and get more money, and the deficit stays the same at $190 billion. And so, we got to raise taxes to get rid of that deficit. They raise taxes and they raise spending simultaneously. Never changes. So, number 1 focus, retail sales ex-auto. Number 2, jobless claims. And here we are. So, our 45 to 50 is where resistance is. If they get serious about covering their shorts, we could blow through that in a hurry. So 44.46, sell 1. Our 50 area stops above that, so 50 plus or minus 1 for sell 2. That's where we started. We'll probably adjust those numbers up. On the buy side, our 35.37 buy 1 and 30.32 buy 2. Take about 20 minutes to get everything up and posted. Going to get busy on that. The 44.46 is aggressive. 50 plus or minus. 50 is a round number. Have some wiggle room there. Down to the retail sales number. If that comes in much lower than forecast, we will sell. If it comes in higher than forecast, my guess is we'll get a short covering rally. And we'll be back and adjust after the numbers with you as soon as I can.